got to put in the hard yards. You don't get anything for free. I think the jobs on the board, probably 90% of them are batteries. It's scary. It's a little bit daunting. I can't see past my today's to-do list.
It's the same for $10,000 worth of $200.
Yep. If I don't put it on the list, it doesn't happen. I probably put too much emphasis on what other people think.
Do what is right, not what is easy.
We had a gentleman's agreement, but obviously that meant nothing. Damn it, I reckon I might be able to do that.
I felt terrible.
Yeah.
Really guilty. I was checking my phone. What am I missing? What am I missing?
The hardest thing is accepting that you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's too easy. I'm going to take this off for a living.
Hello everyone, my name's Graham Strang, and I hope my younger self is listening. Welcome to episode 14 of The Hard Way, that we are trying to uncover real stories about real business people. Tonight's guest is someone who truly embodies ethos. Leanne Phillips is a co-owner of Electrical Sensations, a Toowoomba-based electrical solar business she's run for 21 years with her husband Nigel. Welcome to The Hard Way.
Thanks, Graham. Looking forward to it.
You ready?
Yeah.
Get right into it?
Let's do it.
So before we get into that, beyond business, I need to let this bit out. Leanne is a passionate advocate for community, fitness and family. Her story is grounded, honest and packed with hard-earned wisdom.
Yeah.
That's how we got you nailed, yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you grew up on a farm just outside of Pittsworth. Tell me what it's like growing up with hardworking, hands-on parents and family and what that was like.
Was all that we knew. Mum and Dad were both hard workers. They got up early. They worked till late. That was just what they did. Their parents were farmers. It was just the way things went. It was a great life. Yeah.
From growing up on a sheep and cattle place, we got to do so much, didn't we?
Oh, ours was like a baby farm. Nothing compared to yours. Just a little one.
But the ability to disappear and go and do things and not get checked on. I mean, look at now when the kids are out of your eye line now, whereas
it's a different world now.
I was jumping motorbikes over creeks and things. It was good times. What did you learn out of growing up on a farm that makes you part of what you are now?
Oh, I think it's just the hard work that you've just got to put in the hard yards. You don't get anything for free. Like you've got to earn what you get. You don't just put your hand out.
Yeah, and no one does anything for nothing.
Correct. Absolutely.
So did you go to school at Pittsworth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which school?
Well, actually, when I started school, I went to a little baby school. There were 7 kids in it when it closed down. That was in grade 6. And then I went to Pittsworth School to finish primary school and then high school in Pittsworth as well.
Did school shape you for much of what you are now?
Probably. I think being a small school, you have to learn to get along with everybody because 7 kids in the school, you can't just stick to yourself. So yeah, I think it did. And again, they're all just country kids with the same sort of outlook and stuff. We everyone come from hardworking farming families, and you just did what you got to do.
Did your parents do much in the local community space?
Not really. They were just on the farm. They didn't really do a lot in the community. Oh, with P&C and stuff like that. Absolutely. Yeah.
I was just wondering where you got, because I know how much work you do and with in that community space being involved. Where did your motivation for that come from?
Probably the kids. Kids, the motivation for everything, really.
They really are, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't tell.
No, they've got a big head.
So, what was your first job?
Clipping onions, I think, would have been the very first one, top and tailing the onions and stuff.
David, did you have great experiences through all your early jobs?
No.
Was there...
Not.
Did you learn lessons, good or bad?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One of my early bosses taught me what I don't want to be like as a boss, which was good.
And what was that?
I guess not to treat them like dirt, I suppose. Not like dirt. Yeah, and that you sort of, respect them because they're people. And, don't badmouth them when they can hear you and things like that. Just common courtesy sort of stuff, really, I suppose. Nothing remarkable, but just to treat them like they're people because they are.
It's amazing with some of those early experiences. One of my first jobs in Toowoomba when I was here as an 18-year-old was at the Caltex at James and Ruthven in the 90s. Okay. And I worked for the strangest man. He used to come and go. He used to be this funny ghost who would just appear and yell at you and leave.
Nice.
And you still didn't really know what he was talking about. But that was okay. That was part of
It's a learning experience as well, isn't it?
So, when did Electrical Sensations appear there?
2004. So Nigel was working at the Millmerran Power Station doing shift work, and that's a really tough gig. When he got the kids were little, over 2 and 4.
Yep.
And trying to keep them quiet so he could sleep, through the day, and then him being away at night, it's just not good. And he said, bugger it, we'll just try and start our own business and see how we go. So
I love that. I love the really conscious business decisions like bugger it.
yes, there might have been a little bit more to it, but not really. It was just like, yeah, whatever, we'll see how we go.
So what were you doing at the time?
Well, I was working at Defence and I resigned after we had our first child. So I was at home looking after the kids full time. And so we sort of wanted that, as everyone does, I think. You want the flexibility to do what you want when you've got your own business, and to a certain extent that happens.
So what did the change feel like going from, obviously Nigel working full time, you working, to then being a full time mum, to then all of a sudden you're in it yourselves?
It's scary. It's a little bit daunting. It's quite daunting because you sort of take a leap of faith and it's like, man, I hope this works. I guess we were lucky we started business at the right time. Like the work just came to us. So we really sort of didn't flounder too much in the start at all. We were very, very lucky. But yeah, it was definitely crap. We'll see how we go. Hopefully it'll work.
Did you have a moment that you realised that this was the right move?
I think probably when we got our first Q-Bill contract, we had quite a few Q-Bill contracts over the time, and I think that was probably, it's like, yeah, we can do this. This is what real businesses do. Nigel's father was a contractor as well, and it was just like, yeah.
So did you have much in the way of like guidance or mentorship when you were first getting going, or was it a figure it out yourselves?
Well, we did a lot of training through, what were they called? Department of, it wasn't small business, something or other like that. And
it's probably had about 12 acronyms.
Yeah, that's right. It would have morphed many times. But yeah, we did a lot of those courses, and they were really, really good. In the early days, we did Action and National coaching as well, and that was really good. Yeah, long time ago. But yeah, it was really good. Good for setting you up as well, and sort of getting the ground rules down and the basics and stuff. So yeah, those two things, small, I'm not going to name the department. But yeah, they were really good because it was, practical sort of stuff.
I mean, talking of ground rules, how did you and Nigel find the space that in work, because working together and living together are, as I know well, interesting battlegrounds if you don't do it right.
Yes.
Did it take a while to find that this is my bit, and this is the bit we did together?
Well, not really. In the early days, it's sort of harder now than it was back then. Back then, it just sort of happened. Now it's sort of getting that little bit harder because I think I'm smarter now and know more stuff. So I try to do stuff that I probably shouldn't.
So is that a you problem?
Yeah, 100%. That's a me problem. Yeah, absolutely. But no, in the early days, he just did his stuff and I did my stuff, and it was pretty damn easy. And we probably made more decisions together back then.
Yeah.
Whereas now we don't have as much time. So I was like, okay, let's do it.
So why do you think the time has changed?
I don't know. I think now it's more complex maybe. Like the stuff that we do now is just a little bit harder. So it's, I don't know. I think just because it's a different sort of business now to what it was.
And we'll get on to that. I've got a section on business evolution that we'll come to. So you do have a line here that says, you're the list ticker and the realist. Nigel's the big picture thinker and the strategist.
Correct. Absolutely. I can't see past my today's to-do list. Can't. Except for tomorrow's to-do list. Whereas Nigel can see the bigger picture. I can't. So yeah, he does the long-term stuff. I do the today sort of stuff.
So what's your favourite win in 21 years?
I think probably winning the first Chamber of Commerce Business Excellence Award. That was like huge for me. I think that's probably definitely one of the biggest ones.
Because a lot of energy goes into doing those awards too.
Yeah.
Well, not only paperwork, you've got to assemble it all, do the work, because those who haven't done one, they just don't turn up and give you a award. You obviously you get nominated. You then get selected as a finalist, and then have to do all the work around that. It takes.
Sure, yeah.
And I've had a couple of cracks at them. You've got to be ready to do them.
Yeah. I think that was definitely one of the things I'm most proud of.
So you talk about family trips here, even boring ones in a caravan.
Yeah.
Why are caravan trips boring?
Well, nowhere exotic except for like we go to one of the reserves. So there's nothing there. It's just a reserve. So there's a mowed paddock sort of thing, and it's just good to get away. We've done. We used to go out to Cecil Plains.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing at Cecil Plains. There's nothing exciting whatsoever. But it's just
There's obviously something for you there and Nigel that lets you stop, recharge, bring everything back in. So while it might be boring for someone else, for you it's actually not. It's actually really important.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because to get away.
And look, and it's a hard thing to do. Like even trying to get a night away is like trying to herd cats between Peeler and I. So Electrical Sensations has shifted its focus over the years, testing and tagging, and now you specialise in solar batteries and EV chargers. How has that evolved, and how hard has it been for you and Nigel to sit there and look at this bit here and go, we're going to have to change. We have to adapt.
Well, I think it probably just kind of happened by accident. We were doing like mainly testing and tagging, and it was so hard to get staff, as it always has been, because tradies hate testing and tagging. Like it's the bottom of the barrel for electricians. And so it was sort of around the same time that the Queensland government did the whatever it was called, the first solar grant in 2008. And it was like a ballot. You put your name in, and if you got selected, then you got a cheap solar system. And we put our name in the ballot, and we got one. And I thought, I wonder who's doing the installs. And we rang them up, and they said, we haven't got anybody in Toowoomba. It's like, no, we can probably do that. So that's how we sort of fell into solar. And yeah, the rest has sort of just happened.
I don't think you fell into that. You chased an opportunity.
Okay, yeah.
You asked the question.
Probably, yeah.
Don't undersell yourself.
I think timing had a lot to do with it as well. But it's just better, easier, more fun, more enjoyable for me.
So what makes solar fun and enjoyable?
I call it grandma's PowerPoint. Like when someone says, I want a PowerPoint, so they talk about it and where they want it and everything else, and that's cool. So, but that's sort of, 10 or 15 minutes of my time then, and they do the job, and I'll say it's $200 or so, and then you got to do the invoice, and then you got to taste the invoice when they forget to pay it or they didn't get it or whatever. So the admin time for that, for a $200 PowerPoint, is kind of similar to a $10,000 solar system. Like it's just easier. I guess we've sort of got it down pat. We've been doing it for a couple of days now.
And just sidetracking on a small business conversation, it's probably just something a lot of people don't realise. Is most admin and things that we have to do for whatever size job it is, it's the same for $10,000 with a $200.
Yep.
And that's why people charge what they do for a smaller job, because it has to be worth your while.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It has to be worth your while to go to that house to install the PowerPoint or install an outside light, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And it's I've always found it really challenging trying to explain to someone, I'm sorry, I have to charge this, or I don't make anything out of it.
Yeah. I struggle with invoicing because it's like, oh man, I can't charge that. And it's like, but if we don't, we're, shooting ourselves in the foot. So it's really hard. I find invoicing really hard.
Oh, we have our challenges. I struggle with funeral stuff. We have the funeral prints and things.
Yeah.
I reckon half the time I don't charge anyone.
Yeah.
Because I just don't. Usually, actually, speaking of grandmas, I will have this lovely old lady who will appear, and she'll have a photo.
Yeah.
And it's of him or her, whichever way it is. Yeah. And so I just want to put it on a shirt for his granddaughter or something to wear to the funeral, and I just can't charge.
Yeah.
It's just. So and I don't even know what I spend on design work to make sure it looks really, really schmick.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between making money but also going, you know what?
Absolutely.
I'm making enough money to look after that.
Yes, absolutely. And those people will probably remember that for all of their days and tell everybody that they see It's the little things like that that people remember.
Your massive to-do list.
Oh, man.
Tell me about the massive to-do list.
If I don't put it on the list, it doesn't happen.
Doesn't exist.
And then I lie awake at night, thinking about it. 2:00 in the morning, I'm like, oh man, I didn't do that. And oh, geez, did I write that down? Oh no, I won't forget to do that. And then when the next day comes, it's like, man, I've forgotten that already. So if it's on the to-do list, then it's out of my head and I don't have to think about it just to get it.
So I'm not
Left
talking
space
about the
in my brain.
Google Drive list that lives in my phone that when I wake up at 2:00 in the morning, I add it to me. I'm pretty sure Jack over there may have one too.
I think it's a common syndrome.
It's a disease.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that brings me along to one of my favorite 3 words. Get shit done.
Yeah.
GSD. I haven't signed, I love GSD.
Yep.
So what does GSD mean to you?
I think for me, it's probably whether you've got to do it, whether you like it or you don't. It's got to be done. So you can whinge and gripe and groan about it and make it worse, or you can just get in and get it done. Because it's got to be done anyway. Whinging about it isn't going to make it go away. So just get in and get the bloody thing done and get it out of the way. And then
Tilly had a really good one. It's just called eating the frog. No, not eating a live frog, sorry. No one wants to eat a live frog. So you may as well go and eat it and get on to the kids part. And that's why I love GSD, because I use it around everything we do. So when I saw it on the list, I went, that's really good. The customer expectations, even in here for me, has changed immensely, even in 2 years. How have you managed that whole, why can't you do it now?
oh, look, I'm pretty basic and transparent. I just say to them, look, I just can't. And I just say, for whatever reason, the boys are busy or they're sick or whatever. I'm just very upfront and just say, look, I can't. I always try hard to and get them, not particularly Nigel, to do more than he should to keep the customers happy. But I find it really difficult when I can't do what they want when they want it.
Oh, but we have the same battle.
Yeah.
And it's a difficulty managing expectation, because in people's minds, you should just be able to do it.
Yeah.
The ones I struggle mainly with is when they've been to 4 or 5 other people, you're probably last on their list and they're already running at about an 11 out of 10 when they get to you, and you say, look, and you're mentally saying, I'm probably saying the same, the last 4 phone calls said, I can't do this any faster. Yeah. And there's always the under promise and over deliver.
Yeah.
But it's the expectation. It's never easy.
No, that's for sure. I always, if I think it's going to be a week, then I'll say 2, rather than vice versa, because you've got to be over conservative, I think.
So you have some favorite quotes. Do what is right, not what is easy. Near enough isn't good enough. Right. Expand.
You've got to do the right thing, like in everything. Yeah, honesty is everything. It's what underpins everything I do, everything I say. It's just me.
We have that in here. Like, there are times when we'll finish a job and it'll be 80%.
Yeah.
And I just can't do it.
Yeah.
In the end, it's shit. There's no point giving him a discount or anything like that. You just look, I'll just fix it. Yeah. Right, that way next time you see them, everything's happening.
Yeah.
So near enough isn't good enough.
No, it's not. Like, it's not. I think I probably put too much emphasis on what other people think. But if things aren't right, if it was, a cynic might say, well, if you can't do that right, what chance is it that everything else going to be right as well? It's just got to be right.
And this is being really honest, I think you're selling yourself a little bit short. I know I've known you a long time. You like to do the right thing because you're honest. The near enough isn't good enough is that I've seen the quality of work that Nigel does. I've seen the pride you both take in it. So you both like to make sure that you do the right thing by people, you deliver a good product, and that's one of the reasons why you've been going for 21 years. Don't sell yourself short on what you've actually done.
Thank you. I don't know, it's just sort of happened.
I know, but it's one of the things that has made you good is that you don't have to trumpet it from here. In here, you've done the right thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You've got to, that's more than anything.
So that takes us to the next sentence, which amuses me immensely.
God, what is
the crown of concentration?
crown of concentration.
I feel like I need more people in here to tell me at the crown station, but I've got you.
So I've got this crown from the cheap shop. It's gorgeous looking thing. It is absolutely gorgeous. And when I'm trying to concentrate on something, when I'm doing basses and stuff like that, because people, you know, I'm just available all of the time, and they come in and they ask questions and whatever. So I've got the crown of concentration on. They don't come near me. Even Nigel Forbucker, he was coming in the door. He saw the crown and he just sort of turned around, away he went. It's like, it worked, which is so cool. But yeah, it's just so that I can concentrate because I get distracted all of the time. So with the crown on, they leave me alone.
The shiny butterfly.
Yeah, absolutely.
The crown, I thought you've got Nigel to buy you a really pretty tiara.
Oh yeah, no, it's not pretty. It's god awful ugly. But it works. It serves a purpose. Yeah.
Look, we've talked about lots of fun themes, the great things you've done. We probably need to touch on some of the stuff that hasn't worked so well. Talk to me about losing a major contract, the experience, what you went through with that.
It was really disappointing, and I think, you know, when you sort of think people just didn't do what they said they would do, and it's just like, man, it's not, you know, it's not right, which goes against everything that I stand for.
So give us the story.
So we were doing Nigel actually we saw the opportunity come up, and we went to this other company from Sydney and said, this project's coming up. Do you want to do it together? And they said, yep. So coolio. So Nigel did all of the groundwork and stuff, and because it was local. And then we went down to Sydney and spent a week or so with them working on a similar project.
So it's obviously a significant project.
Yeah, it was. And so yeah, and then it was like, you know, we'll come back up, and Nigel did the pricing and stuff up, and they were a little bit cagey. I was like, no, you're righto. And then didn't hear back because it was to start, and we hadn't heard anything back. And they said, oh yeah, no, we've got a quote from someone else, and we're going with someone else. And Nigel had put in hours and hours, weeks of work, and the fact that we actually gave them, you know, told them about the opportunity for a start, it was just a kick in the guts, I guess. And it was at a place where we drive past all of the time, and you're driving past, it's like, oh man, I'm going to go and stick the cables together. I didn't do that. But yeah, it was just, I guess, a kick in the guts that people don't do the right thing.
So what did you learn out of the experience?
I guess we should have had some sort of, I don't know, agreement or something. Yep. We had a gentleman's agreement, but obviously that meant nothing. So we should have had something in writing to cover ourselves, or at least have gotten something for the time that we had put in.
Yep.
So yeah, cover your bum definitely was a big learning there.
Have you been and tried to do something that again?
No, we haven't.
One and done.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we tend to work better by ourselves. We've got a couple of other contractors around town that we've done a bit of stuff for and within that, but generally Nigel likes to run his own ship pretty much.
So you've employed a lot of staff over the last 21 years.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite?
Oh, that's hard.
If someone's popped straight in your head, I can see you.
Yeah, but then I'm going to offend the others. There's probably three. So one is Maz, who actually had lunch with on Sunday, and she's the most genuine, beautiful, just salt of the earth lady you will ever come across. She's 76.
Yeah.
And she said to me on Sunday, she said, if you need me to come into the office and do anything, she said, I'll volunteer my time. You don't have to pay me. I can help you do stuff. She's just a darling. And Taylor, who is much younger, and she's just a sweetheart. They've both become really good friends. And then Max, who we had with us for 10 years, he's just a good egg. We went to his wedding and his 21st and stuff, and he's just a good egg. So I don't have one favourite.
There's nothing wrong with having more than one, but because, and it's hard because like my favourite ever off-cider I had is Millie Cuff.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
original.
Yeah.
But her was because we were building this. We were doing everything together. So her and I circled every bakery in the Darling Down. Didn't do much for either of our waste clients. That's not taking you away from my current team. I've got the best team I've ever had.
Yeah.
But Millie and I just did so many things. The day after my wedding, Millie and I are driving to Wandoan to go and quote pants. I didn't have a honeymoon.
Okay.
I had Tila and Millie exchanging texts with Millie going, "I'm leaving town with your husband, ha ha," and Tila going, "You can have him, ha ha." So that's why I always ask, because there's always a story.
Yeah.
But then they do move on.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. It makes me sad. I tend to fall in love with them a little bit, not in a weird way. But yeah, I do sort of get attached and sort of interested, I guess, in them. I mean, particularly in the office, because it's close quarters. Like I sit here and they sit over there pretty much.
I have this thing that I get from my dad again. If they're doing that, if they're going up the chain, they're going somewhere, I'm full of all the support in the world.
Yeah.
Where I get it is that if they go that way or go down, what did we miss?
Yeah.
Did we miss something? And that really grates with me, and I think all very similar.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's something in there that we didn't do.
Yes, yeah, you're always asking yourself, like, we should have done that. Maybe we didn't do that properly. And yeah, there's always that reflection of what we do wrong to lose them.
So what's your own personal favourite? What's your personal growth, I should say, that you've done in working in the business? Something that allowed you to go, you know, this was worth every bit of pain.
Look, I don't know, probably the Chamber of Commerce Awards again. Like, that for me was like the pinnacle of being acknowledged as being a good business, which that's kind of, I like that. Like, that's the goal, is to be seen to be good. So yeah, for me, I think that's like, I really, really value those awards.
What have you done personally in that time that really made you go, you know what, this is me, I did this? Well,
I think probably I went to Borneo and climbed Kinabalu.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I've been reading that for about a minute to work out how to pronounce it.
Just the way it sounds. So yeah, and that was, Nigel didn't come, and the kids were only fairly young, maybe 6 and 8 or something like that.
So what made you go and do that?
I don't know, a brain fart one day. I was going to Fighting Fit at the time when Glenn Oza was in charge, yeah. And he was doing it. I think he had changed to Adventure Professionals. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah, somewhere in there. And yeah, they were doing it. It's like, damn it, I reckon I might be able to do that. So I was like, bugger it, we'll give it a go. And so we did. It was hard, but it was
So how long did you train for?
A while.
Because I know you have to tick a box before you...
Yeah. It was would have been a couple months. And that's part of it as well, the training and the getting ready for it. That's like really exciting. I really like that. So yeah, it was good to have done and say that.
Other side of the world, climbing around a hill.
Yeah, and because it's high, because it's a hill, and I'm scared of heights. Like I'm shit scared of heights. And when you go up one day and then you come down the next. And we left early in the morning, and we were going down on like the side of the mountain sort of thing. It's like, if this was daylight, I wouldn't be doing this. I would be still sitting there to this day, not moving, because it was quite steep and not much space and stuff.
Did you discover much about yourself doing that?
Well, probably that I can do things, even though I was, oh my God, so scary. Thought I was going to die. That I can do things, I suppose.
Well, this probably leads us on to our next bit, work-life balance. Juggling any of it is difficult. Like, I'm 15 years here with Tila and I still muck it up. What are your hard lessons, happy lessons in and around that, about working out how to balance both? Because, you know, your children are grown up, mine are still getting there.
I don't know. I think probably, I guess, putting the family first, which is really, really hard, and because I like to try and make everybody happy, and that's not possible.
It ends up hurting you more.
Absolutely. Also, you get bitter and twisted and resent everybody. Not cool. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, kids grow up so quick, and you get caught up in doing the invoices and whatever else, that you can sort of tend to forget and not see some of their things that they're going through and stuff. And that's really hard.
What is it? It's you spend 60% of your time with your kids by the time they're 12 and 80% of their time by the time they're 18.
Okay.
So the 20% of the rest of their life is what you get.
Wow.
And
That's a bit scary.
it's scary. I didn't know that because Jane Lee pulled me up about Nova, and
Okay.
you know that most of my little life was working, going to work with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and do some fun stuff at Nova so she doesn't miss out. So I do try and do fun stuff.
Yeah.
I'm still not very good at it.
It's hard. Like, it really is hard. And I find that when you're doing something with the family, you're guilty because you're not doing the work. And then when you're doing work, you're like resenting it because you're not spending the time with the family. I think there's a fair bit of constant, I don't know.
The battle.
Yeah, battle, yeah.
I remember when I first started picking up Nova early and then just taking her to the park. And it was like 3:20.
Yeah.
And this place was still functioning. And I felt terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Really guilty. And I was checking my phone. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? And then getting harassed going, you need to push me on the swing. And then all of a sudden I realised this place didn't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So eventually the phone just didn't cut.
Yeah. I remember one time when the kids were little again, as they were, I was sitting, they had swimming lessons, and I was filling out deposit slips while I was supposed to be watching the kids swimming. And I'm like, I just sort of stopped. I'm like, you need to be stopping this because the kids are doing things that I'm missing out on by filling out deposit slips. Like, what even is that?
And, you know, and it's a bit of it's in here, but it's about trying to set boundaries, not just with work, but with yourself too, because you can't help yourself. It's like, no, it's one of the easiest things to do is that, you know, I could be on call 20 hours a day here, probably be okay with it, but that's not healthy for us. No. It's not healthy for your kids, your husband, wife, whoever it might be. Have you had many challenges around going, you know, I need to create the space?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, we traded from home for the first, 6 or 7 years, and we owned a rental property in Drayton, and the place next door came up for sale. And we said that'd probably be a good place to get that way because we were running out of space. How the hell we ever traded from there, I don't know, because we've got so much stuff. And yeah, when the shed came up, I thought we should try and get that because that'd be a good, nice little parcel to get. And it was a nightmare of a purchase, but so good now because you've got that separation where home is home.
Close the gap.
Mostly. And work, you can, to do work, you've got to go in there. It's like, no, that's a pain in the bum. I'll just do it tomorrow. Whereas when it's at home in the back shed, you can just go, well, I'll just go out there and do that now.
I'll just go for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
And it's never 10 minutes.
No, never.
So how do you keep yourself sane?
No, well, I don't even know if I am, Graham. But
am I really sitting here?
Oh, look, the gym. If I didn't go to the gym, I would be a horrible, horrible person. It just
That's good to know. I'll check that before I come visit.
Absolutely, do that. It just gives me something to do. I don't think I'm going to the Olympics for anything anytime soon, but it's just to be doing something. And if I don't do it, I literally get cranky and stuff. So yeah, it just makes a huge, huge amount of difference. I get the bangers going and my bloody headphones and stuff. And
so what's your bangers?
Oh, you don't want to know, Craig.
Surprises.
No, look, there is all manner of things on my little Spotify playlist. We've got the Wiggles. We listen to them a fair bit with our granddaughter and stuff. We've got Slim Dusty. We've got Tipner. We've got everything.
So far, I've got the big red car.
Yeah.
And the lights on the hill.
Yep.
Techno. So is there anyone in particular?
Well, I actually kind of like, he sings Redline, Geordie. Is it Geordie someone? I don't know. And it's like, it's not a very appropriate song at all, but I just love it.
Have you seen this show? There's nothing appropriate about this show.
So yeah, I just put it all on. It's got to be fast. If it's not fast,
absolutely. No, I listen in my work car all the time, but it's mainly 90s mixes because that's Powerhouse days, Rappers days.
Yeah.
If my liver just kicked me. Women in trades and leadership. How have you, let me reword that. You're in a very male-dominated field. And I know Teal's been through here where everyone just asks for me.
Yeah.
Or everyone walks in and asks for Nigel.
Mm-hmm.
Has that ever affected you?
Look, not really. I mean, at the end of the day, he is the qualified one, the one who's, his name's on the piece of paper. He knows all manner of stuff that I don't. I get that they want to talk to him because he knows stuff. He's done the study. He knows what he's doing. It doesn't worry me. I don't get him bent out of shape.
It doesn't have a Teal often, but normally when her name's on the bottom of the bill, and it says, for any accounts, please ring, and they ring me and go, oh, mate, I just want to give you a card. And I'm in, I said, once again, near Wando, and so I'm going, no, I just ring Teal.
Yeah.
Oh, do I got to ring her? Yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I don't understand.
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't understand.
Yeah. Because we all know that if we want to do that, we're ringing you. Because if it's like they're ringing me, I'm assuming Nigel's the same. He's going to go,
you're going to have to ring the office.
Yeah,
ring the girls.
Ring the girls. Don't bring me into this.
Yeah.
You being very direct, very genuine, as you talked about with your quoting and things, and really just telling people rather than trying to tell them a bunch of information. How would you advise women who are getting into these male-dominated fields and not surviving is actually the wrong words. How do you succeed?
Oh, look, I don't know. I think just be yourself. Don't try to be someone that you're not. I think that's it. Like just be yourself. Don't try to be someone that you're not, because you're not going to pull it off. People are going to know.
Yeah.
But you absolutely deserve to be out there. Just because you don't have a pecker like the next person doesn't mean you can't do whatever's got to be done.
You know, that's the realness that I love. I love real people. It's why you and I get along, because we can tell each other, either right or wrong, what we think. We can agree to disagree. That's part of the show. But that actually brings me to my favourite bit, which is networking. We both completely agree that networking is such a powerful, wonderful, amazing tool, but it's a very uncomfortable tool.
Absolutely.
Do you remember going networking for the first time?
Oh my God. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Seriously. Hate it. Absolutely hate it. And I still hate it sometimes. If it's somewhere where I know no one, it's like traumatic. I find it difficult. Very difficult.
It's interesting. I burn out occasionally.
Yeah.
I just don't want to.
Yeah.
And I've mastered the 15-minute visit.
Okay. Yep.
That everyone's seen you. Oh, yeah, we saw Graham.
Yep.
If I was there 15 minutes, it would have been absolute max.
Yeah.
Well, it was like the other day when the event we went to on Friday.
Yeah.
I just didn't really feel like it, but I knew I should go along. So I came late, got a coffee, said hello to everyone, kissed a few babies, and went.
Put in an appearance, yeah?
Absolutely. So in the discomfort of networking and trying to work out, that you're talking about having that near heart attack, because there's that panic thing of like, holy crap, I don't know what.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you're trying to give someone who's just got into work from the sales, first management job or sales job, when they're walking into that room, if you could give them some advice on going, how am I going to remotely meet anyone?
I think it's probably, don't go in there and try to sell someone something. If you go and say, I'll buy one of these, it's not going to work. That's not what network works. 100%, absolutely. I think just go in there to genuinely try to get to know people. Because that's the first step. If they don't know you, then, you've got no chance. So it's to get to know them and for them to like you with a certain extent, I suppose. But not to try and just go straight for the jugular and say, I want to buy a house. It's not going to work.
Jody and I really touched on this, and we talked about the relationship building. So whether you do business with them or not, building that relationship in the groups and things, and not everyone's going to like you. You're not going to like everyone. But that ability to build that reputation, then you are approachable.
Yeah, absolutely.
You may end up, and you're like me, we'd made some amazing friends and never done business with them. That's perfectly fine, actually, doesn't worry me. But I like the evolving and networking. So some of the speed networking that's coming in. Which is so much fun.
Absolutely. You've got a minute. And you're not like you're trying to think of things to say. It's like, oh God, how can we keep this conversation going? You've got 60 seconds. Anyone can talk for 60 seconds. I think the speed networking, speed dating as I call it, is great because you know that there's a time limit, so there's not that much pressure and it's not as daunting.
So communities and local connection, which is something you both have. You've had lots of different things you've been working in, especially Toowoomba, people supporting local, referrals, and that space, but you've also had a lot of work in working with some local causes like the Mito Long Walk. children with cancer, those sorts of things. What local community things have you really enjoyed, really trying to put some outlined?
I really enjoyed the Relay for Life. I don't think they're doing it in Toowoomba anymore. After COVID, it sort of got a bit, didn't really happen. But they were great. Like everyone used to come with family, used to come, mum and get out there with a walker and go around the little track. But it was just a great environment, a great thing to do. One of the patrons, one of the years was went to school with my son. She had cancer, and it was just like an amazing. The experience was just amazing. Like it was, nothing like I'd ever sort of expected it to be. It was really good.
One of the things I learned, go to my grandfather, one of the things I learned about the community work, he always says, no matter what you're doing for yourself, you're going to find something that helps you sleep at night. Mm-hmm. And I've always loved it because you're doing something good for someone. It's not the big ticket shows where there's lots of TV. It's helping out that little event who has a kid with cancer, or they're trying to get some kids away to a sporting event, or something that is minor that everyone sees 1,000 of, that a couple of vouchers, a bit of support, a little bit of money in the tin, and you can just get that reaction from them. And I go home and relax. I don't know about you, but it's just like, I've done something good.
Yeah, because it's a real person as opposed to, a big faceless, nameless organisation. It's a person.
If you could change one thing in the local community.
Look, I like old people. I think I'm an old person. But I think more, I don't know, facilities or programs or something for the oldies. Those poor old buggers, worked really hard, and some of them just get treated like second-class citizens. I don't know. I would like to see more for the oldies.
Rather than all just going off into the home. Or
people forgetting about them and stuff, which is so sad.
Look, being involved with the men's sheds, I absolutely understand. That's what I love about the men's shed.
Yep.
And there's a ladies' shed at Different.
Yeah, I know there's one in Pittsworth as well, actually.
Yeah, and one in Lockyer Valley.
Okay, yep.
Well, the Toowoomba one got me out of a jam. We ended up with a heap of badges. I couldn't get on there. Yep. The ladies there sorted me out.
Okay, no.
They were fantastic.
Yeah.
We now go to the hard way. In business, what has been the hardest lesson you've learned?
I think probably, I don't know if it's a lesson. I think probably the hardest thing is accepting that you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, that people aren't going to like you, people aren't going to use you, whether you can do a good service or provide a good product. I think that's probably one of the hardest things for me, is learning to accept that you're never going to please everyone, and you're never going to be all things to all men. So to try and be all things to all men, you just end up beating your head against a wall, because it just can't.
And you don't typically with a good product and all those sorts of things.
Yeah. That's probably one of the things that I find most difficult, and also that, staff move on, no one stays anywhere for it or anymore. I know, right? That's probably hard as well. But again, that's because I fall in love too easily.
Luckily for Nigel, you fall in love.
I know, right?
Personally, if you could go back to your 18-year-old self and just tell her one simple...
Just one?
Oh, I'll give you two.
Buy property. Buy that cheap house. Just do it. And probably, I don't know, just live your life and stop worrying so much about everything.
Nobody cares.
No, and that's exactly right.
It's really harsh saying it.
Absolutely.
But in the end, whether you look pretty on Friday or not, doesn't matter Monday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But your memories of what you're able to do for yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the reality is, regardless of married kids, whatever it might be, most of the big stuff I find is here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Without doubt.
And I replay them in my mind at times of some of the cool things that I've done.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, if you are 18 and you don't have the hang-ups and it's a bit of travel, go do something.
Absolutely. Yeah, travel as well. Yeah.
And then we move on to the book of questions.
Yeah.
I know, this one's a bit scared. So you know the drill. You get to open the book on the page. You get to read it. You just...
Oh, this isn't too bad at all.
I haven't read it. If you're from around here, chances are you've had something embroidered, print or pressed by us. And if you haven't, come look us up.
Who is one woman, not a relative, who you look up to and why? Yeah, look, probably Nigel's auntie. She was just an amazing lady who could make everyone feel so special. Like she made everyone just feel like the most important person in the world. And that's just every time you see it, like she's just a beautiful, vibrant, happy, positive person. And when the kids were little and stuff, I'd say, maybe you should try and be a little bit more like Auntie Joy. What would Auntie Joy do? Because she was just an amazing human being and just had an ability to make everyone feel special, loved, just
Was she
amazing.
So she sounded like a bit more a personal mentor for you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and she just, as I said, just made you feel special. Because a lot of most people don't. They're all concerned about themselves, but she just amazing. So yeah, to be a little bit more like Auntie Joy is kind of what we sort of try to do because just
How do you think it's going?
I've got a very, very long way to go. I definitely not in the same caliber as her. But yeah, definitely she's passed away now. But yeah, I do sort of think a lot about her, of what she would do and how she would do things, because she was just such a beautiful person.
I'm guessing she was also one of those people who just knew what to say.
Absolutely.
It was terrible, wasn't it? Like, it's beautiful. Yeah. But you'd be having a down moment. You want to enjoy that down moment, and they just pat you on the hand and tell you something, and it's like, okay, fine.
Yeah, no, it's just an amazing human being.
Oh, you get to write your question in now.
Boys. And I'm very relieved. I thought Tilly's question was going to be hard.
So we're coming to the end. What's next for Electrical Sensations?
We don't have grand plans to be enormous and take on the big boys in town. We want to keep on doing what we're doing, giving good service, good products, being proud of what we do rather than trying to be all things to all men and cutting corners and compromising. We just want to keep on keeping on and going into work and the work coming in and see us through to retirement.
Which is still a long way away.
It is, forever away, like 40 years away, give or take.
Where's your next travel point?
I don't know. I would love to go to Patagonia because it just looks beautiful. I want to do a trek, not so much a climb of a mountain, not real keen on hills, but a trek where you just walk for ages. That's cool. Somewhere cool, New Zealand.
I love New Zealand. I'll get back and
I 100% love it. No matter where you go, it's just beautiful. Different types of beautiful.
Driving in New Zealand, I could just drive all over that.
Yes, just amazing. Yes, definitely got to go overseas again soon.
Yes, absolutely. We're eyeing off Saudi Arabia, something like that.
Okay.
Yep.
No,
Some looking around. Don't know yet.
We went to Vietnam and Laos, and the kids our eldest was in grade 12, was the last sort of family holiday thing. And the kids there, like the culture, it was such an eye-opener for them. Like I would never have thought of going to Laos, and Nigel planned it because he's amazing at planning holidays. And it was so good. Like it was probably one of the best holidays that we've had because of the culture and the people. The people are amazing, absolutely amazing in Laos. Beautiful, couldn't do enough for you. Like it was just next level.
And yeah, that's why travel is so important.
Absolutely.
See all the places.
Yeah.
Batteries are booming.
Yeah. Not literally booming, that would be bad. But yeah.
I'm so glad to put that line in there because Kobe can say something like that.
There, people are watching them as well.
That's more and more of your focus now.
Yeah. I think the jobs on the board, probably 90% of them are batteries, which is good. It's good.
Is it easier work, harder work?
So it's easier. It's easier because it's not on a roof.
Yeah.
So in that way, it's easier and better because you're not climbing on the roof and stuff. Safer, and that's important as well.
Well, no. If they want to find Electrical Sensations because you need batteries, you can find them you Google Electrical Sensations Toowoomba. You can go to Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram, LinkedIn?
Not so much Instagram. A little bit of LinkedIn, not an awful
I
lot.
was about to say, what do you got on Instagram you don't want us to see?
Oh, you know, there's just not much on there at all.
Mate, thank you very much for coming on the Hard Way. It's been fantastic. It's been humble. It's been honest. I've actually learned some bits about you I didn't know. But if you want to watch The Hard Way, you can find us very simply on YouTube, on Spotify, and on Apple. Look up The Hard Way. Put my name in it as well, and it'll pop up. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching. It has been lovely.
Thank you, Graham. I was absolutely blown away. When you said you me podcast Monday, I'm like, the hell? I actually thought your phone had been, someone had your account and was sending weird thing along.
Everyone has a story, even if you think it's not very interesting.
Yeah.
And now we can say goodnight. Good night.
Good night. This is too easy. I think I might take this up for a living.
Please put that in.
I'm